Okay, so these are the instructions for the boat folding exercise. You're going to be making this little origami boat. Pretty simple structure, and you can actually use it. It will actually float on water for a bit until the paper gets waterlogged. And it certainly can be used as holding onto party favors and such. So lots of reasons as to why you should learn how to make one of these. So you're going to take your piece of paper here, and we're going to make it so it looks like this. So here we go. So the first thing that we'll do is to make sure that the paper is oriented so that the blank piece is facing up. This way you can get the pretty design to be on the outside. This one that looks like this upside down. And the first thing you're going to do is going to make these folds. And folding origami paper, it takes just a little skill. It's all about making sure that the edges line up like I'm doing here. So you're going to make your first run where the edges will line up. It's a square piece of paper, so there's no orientation to this. And then when you fold it, that fold has to be straight and it has to be tight. So I tend to run a finger over it each time to make sure that it's nice and tight and it's square. So I'll turn and flip the paper over, and then what I'm going to do is take the top part of the fold here facing me, and I'm going to bring it back up. All right, and again, I'm going to make sure that it lines up correctly. I run a finger over it, make it nice and tight. So here's the second principle of origami. Usually when you're making an object, you'll flip things over and do what's called a mirror fold. And so what we do on one side, we do on the other. And the boat, it does a really beautiful example of making multiple mirror folds. So we're going to make the second fold that looks like this. So now you have the paper, it's all white. You may have a different color paper, so maybe that's not necessarily true, but hopefully this is what you've got. Now, here comes some tricky parts. The first fold of 4 is to bring up, and so we start creating the side of the boat. So I took the bottom piece and I brought it toward the top line, and then I folded it, and I made a nice sharp crease. I'll do the same on the left, so you can consider that to be a mirror fold, right? Just one side I did something, the other side I did the same. Make sense? Then I'm going to turn it over. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to fold one side, and then I'm going to fold the other. Right? Kind of looks like a boat. You're halfway there. So then we're going to move. This is now a little bit of the tricky part. You're going to bring up this next fold again from the edge. You're going to fold it up. Notice how I'm using my finger to keep that piece of paper from sliding out, that first fold, because it has a tendency to kind of move out if need be. You know, if I didn't do that, it might do something like that, see? So if I do that, that kind of holds it in place. And, you know, it doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to, you know, be close enough to keep it to make sure that the folds are created. So guess what my next step is? You're right. We're going to flip it over, and we're going to fold over this side. Same thing. I'm going to make sure that that piece of paper holds. Make a nice sharp crease. I'll do the same thing here. Hold it, and then fold it like this. And again, sometimes it gets a little jammy down here. I just push it down a little bit. Shows who's boss. All right, now it looks a little less like a boat, but not to worry. You know, it's got these two sides. Well, here we are. I'm going to fold this one up so it points up. And you guessed it, do it on the other side. Okay. Oh boy, we're close. So here's the trick. You see it? Now bring it up so that all the folds meet, and sort of you can see the folds directly. If you're holding it correctly, when you start to unfold it, you'll see the patterns appear. Here's the tricky part. You're going to slowly start in the middle, and you're going to flip it inside out. Right? And you're going to slowly do this, otherwise the edges will tend to tear a little bit. In my previous runs, I tore it twice, so I just want to make sure that I get a good one this time. Right? I'm going to fold it. And it's okay if you tear it, because if you tear it, it will still float. It just doesn't look as good, but it will get the job done. So you fold it until it's folded inside out. Bring it over. Give those creases a little bit of a squeeze. Make them nice and tight. And voila, you've got a bolt. And you're awesome. Congratulations. All right, now do another one.